so here we are. We got all these books for about $15–20 or so. Random books for the most part. We're going to go through them. We're going to see what's worth keeping. Okay, this is completely random. I'm talking fiction, non-fiction, every type of book under the sun. All right, so take a guess. Take a look at this car right now. We've got 6 bins, several bags. All right, take a guess. All right, you could see it's a few hours later, and that's because we really looked up every single book, even ones we pretty much knew weren't going to be worth anything. We looked them up anyway. So 3 bins. All right, we spent, really these were free. I had a woman call us. She had a bunch of stuff to get rid of, and I just threw her 20 bucks because there's so much stuff and I knew I'd get something out of it. So 3 bins out of all the stuff you saw. Now again, this stuff was all, you know, next to nothing. The quality I would say is medium. There were some $50–$60 books, but the majority is probably $10 to $20, and even you know, a bunch of $7 to $8 books. But I want to show you a couple things, and one thing I do want to talk about in this video are penny books. So all right, so the thing with penny books, right? A book like this right here, now you can't tell by looking at it, but if you look this up, this is a penny book, okay? And by penny book, of course, I mean, if you look in the used section, you could see it's going for $4.09, so that's merchant price plus $3.99 shipping, okay? So that's a penny book, right? With just that information, the truth is you really don't know if it's worth selling or not. So if you have an internet connection, the best thing to do, if you have time, okay, if you're not in like a competitive environment, and you connect to the internet, see if it comes up. If you have a real good internet connection and you can just click it like that and know, then absolutely I would do it. Now see, this is one that's worth selling, okay? Now look, you're not going to take penny books and sell them for $15 to $20. I mean, it might happen once in a while, but it's not going to happen very often, and you're just going to have a bunch of inventory sitting there doing nothing if that's what you do with your penny books, okay? So this book right here, I mean, look, the FBA started at $7.85. The rank's 263. The rank's 263,000. So that's why this is worth listing. Okay. So you have to consider the rank. You have to have a live lookup to look that up, or you just don't know. And you have to consider the weight of the book, because if it's too heavy, it's going to kill all your profit. So this book right here, we'll check this one. Okay, same thing. Now this one ranks a little higher. It's under $1 million still, at least, but technically it's a penny book. You could get this book in very good condition right now for $4.09. Not FBA, but you could get it for that price. Probably take 2 weeks to get there, but you could get it for that price if you want to. Now, if we check this book, this is a book that is not a book that you want to send in, because the FBA price is right down there near the merchant price, right? This is just absurd. I mean, the only reason that anyone should price a book like this is if they sent it in when it was higher and then the price tanked. But you shouldn't be sending in books that look like that. It's just not worth it. You're not going to make any money on it. So this is an example of a book you don't want to send in, okay? But penny books, typically penny books are not going to be worth sending in, but some of them are. Really, the ones that you want to consider sending in are going to be ones that have no FBA offers, okay, or have a really good rank. Now, if they have no FBA offers and a really good rank, well, then that's obviously something you want to send in, and of course the price. But now, for instance, this book's a little heavier, so the price is going to have to be a little higher for this to be worth sending in. Now, if we look it up, this one's $524,000. Now this book is actually, so there's one more thing to consider, and that's actually if you could sell as new. This book could probably be sold as new. So that changes everything pretty much. So this book is currently listed for $21 new FBA, when the lowest merchant price is $8 new. So is that guy gonna get $21? I have no idea. Maybe, he might. But if I were to send this in, I'd probably list this for 15 bucks, okay? And last but not least, this is the heaviest of all the penny books right here. And we can see really good rank, okay? 50K rank. So this is a really, really good rank book. But it's also going for $8.50 new, right? Now it just so happens that this book right here can also be listed as new because it's pristine, okay? But, so now you really have to make a decision. So what I like to do, if you click this button right here, you can put in the cost of your purchase. Now I like to put in $2, even though I didn't pay $2 for this book. And as long as you set it to FBA, it'll tell your FBA fees. And now all you have to do, once you put that $2 in, if you go back to the main screen, and all you have to do is tap the offer you want to compare against, and it tells you $1.93 profit. So if I pay $2 for this book, I would make about $2 in profit, okay? That's a deal worth doing because it's a 50K rank. The book's gonna sell, and the book's probably gonna sell pretty fast, okay? So I don't care that it's a little heavy, and I don't care that it's a penny book. You see, the rules are not so simple as what everybody might tell you, what you might hear. Oh, it's a penny book, it's garbage. No, it's not the case. This is why you have to understand the data, and you have to understand what it's telling you. So I paid pretty much nothing for this book, so I'll make, you know, of course more than that. I'll make like $3 to $4 off this, and this is obviously something I want to send in. But we got 3 bins out of all those, okay? And you know, I mean, it's typical. It's typical of a random batch of books, right? That's typical of what you'll be left with. Now, if you end up finding you have a random batch of book and you just got a ton of stuff left, you need to really check your criteria on what you're sending in, because there might not be very high storage fees, but that will kill you over time if you're sending an inventory that you shouldn't be sending in. Okay, so you really need to check that. Now, it could be that you just happen to get a really good batch of books. Maybe they're all art books. I find that art books tend to be 40%, even or higher sometimes, are worth sending in. But generally, it's not going to happen. So check your criteria or you're going to lose a lot of money. So this is what we ended up with. If I had to guess, and this would be a total guess, I haven't been adding it up. Usually when I give you guys a price and I say shipment of $8,000 of books, this is from Inventory Lab profit after everything's been calculated. I don't just pull these numbers out of my ass. I very strictly go by data, and you will never hear me say a number if there's not something behind it. So this is a total guess, but I would say from scanning all these, probably $200 to $300 per bin, with some of the bins maybe being a little more than that. So 900 to maybe to 1,000, maybe a little more. I usually estimate conservatively, so this is probably higher than that. And you know, it was completely worth it. Completely worth the trip. All it took me is some gas, and I didn't even have to pay for it, but you know, I threw $20. So, you know, the lesson here really is just check the data, trust the data. And if you're in a competitive environment and you're doing a book sale and you want to set triggers, just make sure you set really good triggers. If you got to skip the penny books at a book sale, penny books, my rule, I'll tell you right now, and I'm going into a little more information than I really want to say right now, but in book sales, I typically don't buy penny books if I'm paying $1 or $2. So right there, I'm letting you know, that's some of my criteria. If I'm going to a book sale and they want $1, $2, hardcover, softcover, I'm not buying penny books for that, because they tank so quick. I mean, they do. penny books can tank so fast. So when I send them in, and when they're worth sending in, is when the rank is really low, when it's a new book, or when I get them for next to nothing. That's when they're worth sending in, but you have to check the data. So hopefully you learned something. Like and subscribe. I've got my newsletter that I just started. I send a lot of good information to people on that newsletter. I don't send emails very often. When I do, I've got something to say. And it's stuff that I can't always or don't always want to talk about on YouTube, so I'm going to leave the link down below. Subscribe to that. I've also got a Facebook page. You can like that. So if you haven't, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.